was a comment that was made on Facebook the other day about being a submissive woman. They were saying that a submissive woman controls her man, and I agree with that. I think until we begin to talk in honesty and transparency and stop pandering to both sides, especially to the sisters, because there is so much entitlement, and because men have been quiet for so long, and it's been the men that has been quiet were the type of men that y'all really need to be listening to. The men that doing the most talking ain't the ones, they don't have nothing to say anyway.
What's good? It's your boy Quay Price, man, holding it down for Kandid Konvos. Definitely check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. People today, they lazy. Ain't nobody trying to put in no work. If stuff start getting a little rough in the relationship or in the marriage, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing. Like, I mean, that's how people's mindsets are today. Yeah, but that's how I know that folks don't truly understand what marriage was about, because they tap out way too easy. Yeah, you see people fight harder for a job, like they can't go get another one of them in 2 weeks. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference, right? We see a difference. And I think, Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Coco on deck. We got Tay on deck today. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on with everybody? Appreciate y'all hopping on with us tonight. Do me a favor, if y'all haven't already, smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe. Like I said, we want to expand the platform. We want to, increase our reach out to as many of our people as possible. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe. Like I said, we look at the analytics. We see that most of our viewers are not subscribers. So definitely hit that subscribe for us, and also hit that share. Like I said, once again, we want to get this content out to as many of our people as possible. All right, let me do this real quick. I'm going to mute y'all for 1 sec. All right, let me do this real quick. Here's the link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. you're coming in through Apple device, you got to use Safari. But man, drop this link in your browser. Join us on the panel. Like I see, you do have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose. We always encourage you to keep it on. In order to get up on the panel, though, you got to throw your camera on so we can verify who you are before we let you up. So just keep that in mind. In addition to the video feed, we also have this link in the chat feeds as well. So you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on YouTube or Facebook. Or, like I said, drop us a little comment. We'll get you the link. I'll lead us up here a little bit as we get into the conversation. Let's see what we got checking in early. Shout out to Crystal Reed in the building. She said, good evening. What's going on, Crystal Reed? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. See, shout out to the real one. Hello, everybody. You holding it down for YouTube. Appreciate you, the real one, joining us tonight as well. Shout out to Nicole in the building. She threw the fist up. What's going on, Nicole? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight as well. I don't know, Nicole. This topic might get, I don't know, this might get you tonight. I don't know. We're going to see. You let me know if you need that link. All right. See who else we got. Let's see. Donovan in the building. He said, hey, hello. What up, though? What's going on, Donovan? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. Let's see. Vince in the building. He said, yeah, fam, what's going on, Vince? Appreciate you hopping on tonight with us as well, man. All right. So we got crew on here. We got crew in here. All right. So we're going to go on and get on into this. I'm going to drop this link. Let us know if you need the link. We can get it to you. Like I said, once again, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Smash that like button. Okay. We're going to go ahead and drop this topic. Something I think, well, I'll let you handle that, Coco. All right, we're going to go ahead and drop this topic and get on into this conversation. So tonight's conversation, men don't want feminine women. Man, this seemed laced. I don't know about this one. Let me run that back. Topic for tonight. Men don't want feminine women. Okay. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see how this play out. I need some, here we go. I need some fellas to hop on in this. B-Boxer, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Sorry I'm a little late.
No, you all good, man. I need some back on this one. This topic a little wild tonight. Men don't want feminine women. I got you. We're going to see. We're going to see how this play out. Cole, what's going on, Cole? You all right?
I'm hanging in there.
Okay. I'm happy to see you. You almost look like you over there sleeping or something. What you said, a bed or something, or a wall?
No, it's the wall. It's this couch. I'm literally just walked in from my crazy commute.
I got you. I'm glad you're on here. All right, cool. So we about to get on into this. Oh, look what JR done hopped on. Oh, it's about to go down. What's going on, man? What's going on? I see it's about to go down tonight. We doing good. How you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I'm all good, thank you.
Oh, it's all good. We about to get it popping. Let's see. Comments still coming in. Vince said on daddy duty tonight. We'll try to get on later. No, handle your biz. Handle your biz, Vince. We understand, man. Do your thing. We'll be here. Let's see. Kenyatta say happy Wednesday. What's going on, Kenyatta? Appreciate you hopping on as well tonight. Always holding us down. All right. So let's go on and get on into this. Men don't want feminine women.
Y'all niggas say I want a girl that's feminine, right? But her wanting you to give her reassurance is as feminine as it gets. Okay, she relying on you. That's the epitome of vulnerability. All right, her wanting you to decide where y'all go to eat. That's her being feminine. She allowing you the space to lead. Her wanting you to establish or initiate a tough or difficult conversation. That's her being feminine, okay? She's allowing you to set the tone. I think the problem is y'all niggas want her to be feminine when it's beneficial to you. And if we really break it down, a lot of y'all don't really want no feminine girl. Y'all want a little dummy. Okay, y'all want, you know what I'm saying, a little girl that just go with the flow. Y'all be confusing soft with silent. And before y'all get to clapping in the comments, y'all wouldn't want to be like us so bad, bro. Y'all don't even want gender equality. Y'all want gender convenience. Don't scroll, hear me out. Y'all say y'all want a masculine man, right? A man that protects you, okay? A man that care about you, he makes sure you're straight, he guards your heart, he protects you from the outside world. 100. But part of protection is correction. So the minute that he try to correct you when you're doing something wrong, now he controlling, now he trying to change you, he don't love you for who you are, he's a narcissist. It's no winning with y'all. We as men and women got to stop the gender division and understand that our privileges also come with responsibilities.
You know, He hold on. He earned the run back. I need to make sure I understood him. I heard a little something.
Y'all niggas say I want a girl that's feminine, right? But her wanting you to give her reassurance is as feminine as it gets. Okay, she relying on you. That's the epitome of vulnerability. All right, her wanting you to decide where y'all go to eat. That's her being feminine. She allowing you the space to lead. Her wanting you to establish or initiate a tough or difficult conversation. That's her being feminine, okay? She's allowing you to set the tone. I think the problem is y'all niggas want her to be feminine when it's beneficial to you. And if we really break it down, a lot of y'all don't really want no feminine girl. Y'all want a little dummy. Okay, y'all want, you know what I'm saying, a little girl that just go with the flow. Y'all be confusing soft with silent. And before I get to clapping in the comments, y'all wouldn't want to be like us so bad, bro. Y'all don't even want gender equality. Y'all want gender convenience. Don't scroll, hear me out. Y'all say y'all want a masculine man, right? A man that protects you, okay? A man that care about you, he makes sure you straight, he guards your heart, he protects you from the outside world. 100. But part of protection is correction. So the minute that he try to correct you when you doing something wrong, now he controlling, now he trying to change you, he don't love you for who you are, he's a narcissist. It's no winning with y'all. We as men and women got to stop the gender division and understand that our privileges also come with responsibilities.
Okay. All right. Don't even start it there. I see you up there. Okay. Well, tonight we talking men don't want feminine women. Okay. So y'all saw the video twice. I had to run it back to make sure I understood the young brother. So y'all drop a comment. Let me know what y'all thought about what the brother said. Was he capping? Was he on point? Was he a little biased? I don't know. But let me come on up to the panel. Drop a comment. Let me know what y'all say. Then I'm going to come on. Let me get one. Let me come to the panel after that. Donovan said this new age mental manipulated disorder is ridiculous. Too many folks are out here babbling and ain't saying nothing profound. This is what happens when the teachers don't assign the book reports no more.
Donovan crazy.
You know Donovan don't hold it back. All right, appreciate that comment, Donovan. Appreciate that comment. All right, so I'm coming to the panel. So we got a couple ladies up here. I can tell y'all want to get something off y'all chest. I see Coco. I'm looking at Tay. I see Cole over here trying to act like she don't want to say nothing. And the fellas, we already queued up. So I don't know. Anybody come off you? Let me just see who gonna start this off. Who got it in them? Coco, is you first? I see you off mute.
I was waiting for Tay. I'm always talking.
I like when you go first because then you be bringing up stuff that I didn't think about. So I need you.
Right off the bat, though, for real, I think this is part of the problem. We legit. I'm learning that we really don't understand each other at all. Like men don't understand women. Women do not understand men, and neither one of us will shut up long enough to listen. Like we legit don't hear each other out. Like we legit don't. Like we're not listening. And I think that's the biggest part of the problem. Like he made some valid points. Like maybe you don't agree with everything he said, but he made some valid points. Like I don't think that I think men sometimes chalk some of the things he said up to women being indecisive. But if we ask you where we should eat at, 9 times out of 10, we already know what we want to eat. So we're asking you that is because we're allowing you the opportunity for you to decide, right? Make the decision, right? Like we are. Because listen, we know what we want. We know what we want. But a lot of times we're gonna be like, well, let me give him an opportunity because I'm gonna say the same thing all the time. I'm gonna go where I want to go. You know, so we're gonna say, okay, well, what do you want? What do you want? And we're giving you that opportunity, like legitimately. And yeah, sometimes I think we do want you guys to be the ones to initiate the conversation. We don't always want to initiate the conversation because I'll be honest, sometimes I feel like y'all misread us wanting to have a conversation as we in our feelings. For you guys, I think sometimes you always read it as we're overly emotional. And I think that you don't give us enough credit. Like there are times when women have sat back and thought about things as well. Like we have constructive opinions and we have a perspective, right? And it's not always just in our feelings. You know, sometimes we come into y'all with a valid concern or valid complaint, and we really want to be able to have that conversation without it being a, you know, hey, can I talk to you? Like that you can't want us to be in our feminine bag, but then when we try to be in our feminine bag, you know, it's y'all nag, y'all this, y'all that, y'all. Well, I'm an emotional creature. What do you want me to do?
Oh,
you want me to be
on.
logical like you? You said you don't want me to be masculine, right? So let me be who I am. Let me express myself as long as I'm not disrespectful, the way I'm comfortable respecting myself. You try to understand me, and I'll do the same when it's your turn to communicate. Because we don't communicate the same. I think that's part of the problem. We don't communicate the same way. So if I'm trying to understand how you communicate, then you need to do the same. You can't always reduce me to my emotions, and I can't always call you stoic. Like there needs to be some trade-off, and I think I don't see enough of that. And I feel like at the core, that's what the young man was saying in the video. Like you can't have it both ways. You can't want a woman that's feminine, but then when she comes to you trying to be vulnerable, trying to initiate a conversation or trying to give you space to, you can't, you know, interpret that how you want to interpret that. And then say you want a feminine woman. Like, I don't think men understand, like you want somebody to submit to you. Submission is a very scary thing for a woman. Submission is a scary thing for a woman. When a woman submits to you the way she's supposed to, if she's doing it the way she's supposed to, she literally is putting her life in your hands. Literally.
Let me ask a question to that.
She is doing, if she's doing it the way that it was designed, right? Because you guys are our protectors. Now, this is what you say. So if that's what you are, then when I'm with you, my guard goes down so I can be in my feminine bag because you got that covered. So I am putting my life in your hands. I am doing that, right? I can't want to hold on to these areas of control, but then be submissive. That's the problem that we're having, right? Women are trying to control too much in the relationship. That's what you're saying. She wants to be in a relationship, but she wants to control everything, which is a masculine tendency. So if you're saying you want her to let go of the wheel, you got it, then she needs to be able to trust that you have it. Right? That's a scary thing for some women. Like that, y'all, I don't think sometimes like y'all understand what that takes for a woman to actually be submissive, right? For real. And I don't think that women understand that in order for a man to lead properly, she has to submit. Without that, he can't actually lead the way he needs to. There's a give and take.
I get that. So let me ask this question. So you just made a point that I think is also part of the issue. Why is it so scary? Yeah, why is it so scary for a woman to submit if this is the man that she chose?
Because I think, unfortunately, it's because there's just been a lot of horror stories. There's been a lot of things that she's probably experienced by proxy. There's been a lot of things that, have affected her, family members or friends. And so now she's like, I'm concerned, right? Because this didn't work for so-and-so, or it didn't work for this person, or it didn't work for that person. And I'm supposed to just believe that it's going to work for me, right? Now, I'm not saying that this is the right frame of mind for you to be in. I'm simply just trying to give you guys a glimpse into what that's actually like from the female perspective, right?
Right. I understand.
It's
yeah,
scary. And I
Go
understand
ahead,
the question. So it's just as scary as the woman that's been married for 30 years and they get a divorce. She doesn't know how to live life alone. You know what I mean? So it might be that single person that has been single for a long time, and now, it's not hard to be submissive, but little certain things, like me personally, I wanted to have control over in my life, because if I let you take control of it and something happens, it goes wrong, I can only blame that on myself. So sometimes, but even now, I am submissive now, and I let him handle what he wants to handle. But please believe I make moves on the background just in case I got to make it happen too. You know what I mean? Just in case, it might be like, hey, baby girl, I need this or I need that. And I have to make sure that I am okay. So just in case that does happen. So it is, but I think I just do that because I want to make sure that I'm always okay. Some women might be like, oh, my man got money, I'm about to go spend his money, my money, and somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some women that's like that, but I don't want to do that. We gonna spend his money, and then if something happen, we gonna spend my money. But till then, we gonna let him lead. you know um is it masculine for me to have something, or is it not masculine for him to say, hey, sweetheart, I need this month? No, it's not. If it's a partnership and we are partners, and you just asking me, and you're not asking me every month, this once every blue moon. So yeah, coming from being single, coming from somebody, and not you saying you dependent on them, but you letting him in your personal space or in your space like that. Because when I dated, I could just date. I can just date. It's surface. Conversations are surface. You don't have to know about my hopes and my dreams and my aspirations. you know so when you do get with somebody that you are talking about your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations, and that's, y'all it's something deeper. So I think it's just the same fear a woman that has been married for a long time would have, getting back out into, the not the dating pool, but not being married anymore.
Okay, so let me present it like this, because I hear something. I hear something in the breakdowns. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Are we talking around the fact that we have a lack of trust?
Yeah, but I mean, that's at the core of the issue. That's definitely at the core of the issue. I think that the trust in the Black community as a whole has been broken. I think that the trust is just broken. I mean, we don't even trust each other. Like, let's just be so for real for a second. We don't trust each other at all. The man standing next to you don't trust you, and he looked just like you, and y'all probably lived a similar experience. Not exact, but similar. He don't trust you. He don't want to get money with you. He don't want to tell you where he live. He don't want you to try to work with him. He don't want you to be his coworker. He don't want you to be his neighbor. He don't trust you. And don't get me started on women. Women definitely don't trust each other at all. So now we talking about relationships. You want her to just trust. Now, I'm not listening. None of the things that I'm saying do I believe are correct.
Right.
I'm just speaking on what it is. Like, we don't trust each other in general. So we bring all of that trauma into the relationship. So now we have trust issues in the relationship. And let's just be honest. Some of us have just made piss poor choices in the past with those that we chose to trust. And now we have issues because we trusted the wrong people. And now we take that into potential relationships where people have not hurt us, have not done anything to us, but it's hard for us to let that go. So yeah, trust is at the root of it. We don't trust, no.
Okay, I just wanted to see. Let's like, I know we like to put the little veil on it. It's the masculine, the feminine, but it sounds like a lack of trust to me. That's what I hear. So I'm like, at the end of the day, we still choosing each other, but after we choose each other, we still don't trust each other. So it's like at some point, this person got to go through some relay race until we decide that, okay, I trust you now. I'll let you go ahead and take the lead, or I'll let you go ahead and or better yet, the woman will go ahead and submit Check the bottom, Coco. I think somebody down there. The woman will go ahead and submit. Now she want to cooperate with you, and now she feel like she trusts you. So, okay, I just wanted to get into that. Let me circle around. We'll keep going. Let's see. Beatboxer, Cole, JR. Come off mute if you want to say something. If not, let me know, and I'll keep going. Go ahead, Beatboxer.
Yeah, so this actually was refreshing hearing what the ladies had to say. I do think the men and women speaking differently and giving each other grace in that aspect. I think something that Coco said is very much a big problem. I think we need to give each other more grace with that. The submission piece, Mr. Price, that question was a great question because it's weird when people pick people and then they don't trust their own judgment, right? Like it's weird, right? And if you don't trust your own judgment, should you be dating? I mean, that's the question I think a lot of women need to ask themselves. And also, submission is not just a woman thing, especially if you're a Christian. The Bible is very clear: both parties submit and die to each other. So, not die to each other, but die to their fleshly desires for the union. So, I hear women complaining about submission, but men have to submit unto death. So, we have a higher calling of dying for not only our wives but our families. So we should be the ones kind of complaining, hey, I gotta die for you. I don't want to do that. Some guys don't want to do that. And then what was I think I missed this one. I just lost the train of thought. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. Like I just think women just need to, if you don't trust the person you're with, I don't get why you're with them. That's just weird to me because I hear that a lot. Just don't be with and then you have to have some self-introspection. Maybe you need to see a therapist about that. If you keep choosing the wrong people, I don't know. But I don't hear that. I don't know, Mr. Price or JR or Joe. I don't hear that same argument. I don't think men say that. I mean, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't hear men saying, I don't trust the woman I'm with like that. I just really don't hear that. But
yeah, no. So I'm gonna let you go in a sec, Joe. That's not typically something that men will say. And this is kind of why I asked the question I asked earlier about, why is it hard? Because the ladies were saying that, it's hard for a woman to submit in that whole thing. And I was just asking, why is it hard, right? Because from the male perspective, when it comes to the leadership piece and having to provide and protect, like that's not hard. Like it's like we know that's what we signing up for. So it's like once I choose this woman, especially if I marry this woman, I know what I'm signing up for. So it's not hard. So yeah, that's like I said, that's not something typically that you're going to hear from a guy. And at the end of the day, he may not have it all figured out in the beginning, but he already knows that over time he's gonna have to figure it out. It just is what it is. So that's my response to that. Go ahead, Joe, and I'm gonna come up to Coco. You there, Joe?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree with you, Quay. Providing protecting is it's easier for us to do. But what B-Boxer was saying, he's saying that I'm not sure how we feel about it in terms of what did you say? B-Box, you said vulnerability or
yeah, like I don't really hear like men saying I don't trust the woman I'm with. Like I don't hear like men saying like I'm a little leery of the person I picked, or like I just don't hear that. That's kind of what I was saying.
I think for us, I mean, maybe myself personally, just from having a lot of male friends, it's not that we don't trust the woman. It's that what do we trust her with? What certain knowledge or information, a certain level of vulnerability that women, I feel like, have a lot more grace and leeway with than we do. So it's like we don't say it, but I feel like we feel it more. So it's like we don't really say, oh, I don't trust her with, maybe this childhood trauma that I had before. I don't want to speak about it to her, even though I probably should. She's my wife, she's my girl, but I feel more comfortable going to a therapist for that, or even going to God, because for a lot of men, if they say those things to a woman, even if a woman asks about those things, it could come back and bite them in the ass by her using it as a form of emotional weapon against them. And it's happened before. It's even happened to me. So, but do I not trust her in other areas? No. I trust women to where I know or feel like I can trust them. But when it goes deeper into certain things, um, thoughts, maybe dreams or ideas, certain things is like you just don't want to talk about. So it's like, oh, I don't know if she'll be able to handle it. And if I tell her, how will she take it? Whether it's great news or negative news. Could it be used because against you out of jealousy? Could it be used against you as retaliation? You don't know. Women can be more crafty in the way they get back at a man, whereas a man we can be more physical. Um, Women can be uh, violent in other ways that's more emotional. So they have other ways of kind of getting back. So that's where I feel like a lot of men don't trust them. But in terms of like trust, in terms of the way that a woman would have to trust us physically, we don't have that same issue with a woman physically. Like, oh, I trust her around me. I trust her to keep her safe and stuff like that because it comes more natural. For a woman, she's in a way giving up a lot of that um, I guess I hate to say autonomy, but I guess in order to have that sense of security that she needs in order to grow with that man. So it's easier for another aspect, but for women, it's kind of like the opposite. So at least that's just my thoughts about it. Vulnerability, my mind is like it just depends on the woman. It's very difficult, and I came up with this quote a while ago to never get comfortable being vulnerable. And that if I am going to be, then it has to be with the absolute right one. But then you have to be vulnerable enough to test that and see if she's going to respond, how she's going to respond to it. And if she doesn't respond well to it, then well, I trust her only to this extent. And that's about as far as I can go because that's what I know she can handle. So I just don't think we talk about it as much as we feel it. We experience it and we kind of bury it and say, oh, well, this is how my experiences with women have been in the past in terms of vulnerability and the things that women are great at in terms of sharing their emotions, crying openly, talking about things that scare them. If a woman hears the things that scares a man, she might be like, oh my God, I can't trust him. How can he protect me if he's fearful of this big bad wolf underneath his bedroom? So it's just a different level of trust that we have, and that's all I say about that.
No, I appreciate that right there. Let me let Coco respond. I know she wanted to say something, then I'll come back to the panel. Go ahead, Coco.
This is where I think men it can be a little bit disingenuous with this. Like for y'all to say that y'all know y'all gonna have to provide and y'all know y'all gonna have to protect and you just accept this responsibility. It's like, this is where I feel like men, yeah, this is where y'all be disingenuous a little bit. Y'all know that when you're looking at the prospect of taking on a woman, which could turn into a family, which can turn into your sole responsibility to protect and provide this woman, that y'all are concerned, y'all are nervous, y'all are worried. That's part of the reason why it takes a lot of y'all a while to decide that you're going to propose to said woman and marry that woman, because you're trying to position yourself because you know what it means when you decide to propose to her and make that woman your wife. This is why there is that process of courtship. This is why there is that engagement process. This is why a woman might be dating a man for 4, 5, 6 years before he marries her. Or some people are together for 10 years before they get married. I'm like, this is why these types of situations happen. Okay, let's not be disingenuous. Like, men, you guys do know there's a level of responsibility that's going to be on you. So you are thinking about those things. Those things do bother you. They do give you pause, which is why you take time, you prepare yourself because you understand the level of responsibility you're going to have. So maybe it doesn't look the same way it does for a woman when she's concerned, when she's nervous, when she's anxious, right? it may not look the same. The reactions and the responses are not the same. But not for a second do you guys not go through some type of anxiety or concern or fear or trepidation or hesitation or whatever it is that you want to call it. Let's not act like that does not happen because you're men, because it absolutely does happen. And I would say with this particular generation, it's an even bigger problem. That's why they running around here saying they don't want to get married, JR. That's why they saying that. Because they're seeing what's going on and they're like, nope, I don't want the responsibility. Nope, I don't want to do it. Nope, she could end up doing this. This could happen, that could happen, and all the what ifs that you guys are saying could happen, that sometimes do happen. Y'all like, I don't want it. I don't want to be bothered. So let's not be so disingenuous. Is it that far of a reach to believe that a woman might genuinely be concerned about submitting to someone, just like it's not a reach to understand why a man might be genuinely concerned about taking on the responsibility of a wife and a family when he doesn't know what that's going to be like or how that's going to go or what the end game or the result is going to be. He doesn't know if he's going to lose what he's worked hard for. He doesn't. I mean, so when we have this conversation, like, we have to be honest, right? Like, we understand y'all are men, y'all are masculine, we get it, but let's not act like y'all don't have fears, like y'all don't have concerns. Like, let's be so for real.
Let me push back at one. Let me jump in and I'll be done. So, men, if I'm waiting 5 to 10 years to marry somebody, that means I don't trust that woman, but she's doing things that I like. So I'm going to keep her on the back burner. It's just being rational, right? That's what Travis Kelce did to his ex-girlfriend before he dumped her. He knew she wasn't really worth anything other than what he was getting from her, but he was kind of like, oh, I like that. It's not even fear. It's just, okay, she's a cool girl to kick it with, right? I might not be able to get better than that, but it just is what it is. Like, she's not really worth the protection or the provision. I know that's a really hard thing to say to some women, but that's just true. And some men are cool with that. I'm not saying that I'm cool with that. I'm just saying. And also the other piece, it's not that we don't want to provide and protect. My generation, JR's been pretty clear about it. We just know a lot of women aren't worth doing that for either, because we might get screwed.
Okay,
so it's not fear. Way. It's just rational. It's just
women feel the same way.
What man?
Women. Wait.
But we're not picking. But we're not. But
women feel the same way.
Okay, I'm confused.
Well, we talking. I think the issue or the confusion is we talking about two different things. So we were talking about the man being committed and knowing that he's gonna have to take care of somebody. Y'all was talking about being committed, then not trusting him. So those that's not the. Go ahead.
No.
Tell me how I got that wrong.
So unless I read or I received the video incorrectly.
No. This was from our conversation. So this was from our conversation, and basically you were saying, because I was like, it sounds like a trust issue.
Okay.
So you were saying as a woman, it's hard to submit when you with this guy, you know what I'm saying, that you with. And I was asking, why is it hard?
Mm-hmm.
So the context was already in the relationship. It wasn't
before
the relationship.
So I don't know who established that particular context, because I didn't. I was speaking more so of, I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. I didn't personally establish that context, because my point was, period. When a woman is dating to get to know a man, when you reach relationship status, we're talking about women having a hard time to submit in general. We're not talking about they're already in a relationship. These women are having a hard time getting in a relationship because they don't want to submit. So we're not just talking about in the sense of a relationship. These women can't even get to that point because that's the issue. They don't want to submit. So when I'm saying what I'm saying, I'm speaking of women, the reasons why they might not want to submit or why they're struggling in general. I'm not necessarily saying if a man, I'll say it this way, has decided to enter into a relationship with a woman who doesn't want to submit, I feel like I don't know why you would do that, because if she's struggling to submit and you saying I'm gonna deal with it though, I wouldn't advise you to do that. We're talking about women that they can't even get to the relationship status. Like it won't last. Like they're dating, but it doesn't go there because they can't submit. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not happening for them, which is why some women stay single, because they're struggling in that area. And we established that trust was at the root of that, right?
Right. Now I understand that. So in your context, then we're essentially saying the same thing on both sides. So why would a man get with a woman that does not want to submit to his leadership and his plan? And then in turn, why would a woman get with a man that she don't trust? Because that's what we had identified, that there's a trust issue there. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me clear. Okay, so when I think about trust, because I think that I'm kind of confused, because when I think about trust, I feel like trust is a cause and effect. Okay. Something had to happen for somebody not to trust you. Nobody's going to start a relationship with somebody off the bat that they just don't trust. I don't think so. Okay, so
oh, come on.
People be starting relationships with people they don't trust.
Yes.
Well, then they must see something. Then they must see something beneficial in that relationship where they just turn a blind eye to it. It must be some type of something going on where they turning the blind eye to. Because you ain't gonna tell me if I don't trust Johnny with $1 and I'll let Johnny move in. So if Johnny steal my $1, that's gonna be on me because I ain't trust that man in the first place. So
but
when I think about Johnny trust, I think because I be naive because I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I don't go into a relationship or to a situation with some past hurt shit. So if I go into a relationship, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, I don't trust him because the last guy. Like I'm not gonna do that. You innocent until proven guilty. So I'm cool. We're gonna rock out. I trust you until something happens. So to me, trust is a cause and effect thing because I think my common sense won't let me get with something that I don't trust. I've been out, in my past moons, I've been out on a date with guys that I don't trust. I mean, it's not about trust, and like even when it's just a safety thing for women. We're single women out here. I'm not gonna let you pick me up from my house. We're gonna meet at the restaurant. You know what I mean? That does not mean that I think you're a big bad grizzly bear. It's just I don't know you like that, and we're meeting, and I'm just gonna meet you up there. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's different, though. I feel like you're right. I feel like that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that I don't trust that man. I'm just making sure that I'm okay. Mm-hmm. So I think that when we say trust, and if a woman does date somebody and he does something for her not to trust him and she stays, then that's on her. She laying in the bed that she made. Now, if you're strong enough, or if that man is, but a man might be too beneficial for her to leave. She ain't strong enough to leave because this man take care of her. Now, if you can get up and leave, then hopefully that woman will get up and leave. But some just can't get up and leave, so they just stay in this rut, in this relationship with a man that they don't trust.
Right. Now, I understand what you're saying, Tay, but I think, let's see, you just kind of touched on the point that I so I think overall we were trying to make. So you stated it as, I'm gonna trust you until you give me a reason not to. So that was really the point that we were going after, right? Because essentially what people do today is they have relationships with other people, and let's just say, the dude was on some bum stuff. So all of a sudden he started asking you for money, right? So then you like, okay, this fool trying to get over on me. So you cut him loose. So you go get with a new dude. You on doing your thing. My man, he doing his thing. He paying bills, taking care of everything, whatever. So then over some time, my man starts coming to you and he like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Babe, let me hold 100. Let me hold 150. And see what typically happens is people then will look back at the previous people that they was messing with and be like, man, that's the same stuff that other cat was doing. Now you're going to start looking at the new dude like, hold up, man. So that's more of what we're talking about with the trust piece. Even though you trusted my man, once he does something that reminds you of somebody you didn't trust, now you're going to loop him right on in. You're going to be ready to bail out. And see, that's what a lot of folks do today. So that's how people end up with people that, quote unquote, they don't trust, because essentially those people is on a timeline. And as soon as they do something that aligns with somebody that they used to mess with, used to do, then it's a problem. even though you trusted them from the beginning. Yeah, so that's all we were saying there. But I want to circle us back because I said I'm not gonna get too far from that video because some things were said that I got to touch. All right. So one of the points that this brother made was a woman asking you, what do you want to eat? That is her allowing you to lead.
Bullshit.
I need
like
somebody
child,
to break
bro.
this down. Yeah, I need somebody to break this down for me. When did a woman asking you, what do you want to eat, become her allowing you to lead as a man?
Chloe already answered that. Chloe
She
already
did
answered
answer.
that.
She did answer that.
Because she
Yes, she
already know what she
did.
It's not what
wants
they
to
want to
eat.
hear.
It's
not what they
not.
want.
Y'all not listening.
She
Yeah,
already answered it. It's
It's
not
not what they
about
talk
want to
that.
about
hear.
listening. We talked about
It's not
listening.
about the food. It's not about the food. It's
It's the act.
him making
Yes.
the decision to lead, and her like not maybe not like a test, but in a way it's like, well, if you're the leader, then you know what I want to eat. Just tell me where, even though I know, but you're the man, so you tell me, and it makes her feel a certain way because he's saying the obvious, but he's still making the decision, or at least in his mind, he feels like he is. And for her, she's getting out, he's leading me, he's telling me what we're gonna do next, how we're gonna. So it's not about the food. I get
That's
it,
insane.
but that's like a little side story. It could be anything.
Right.
You know?
It's not even.
That
It's
is
not.
insane.
It's not the food.
So
Like
being
okay,
that, yeah,
I
I'm the
forgot that
leader.
we
I
dealing with
decide
men,
what she
and men
gonna
are
put in
very
her mouth,
literal.
yeah.
Very.
That means I
So
try to shut the
let's
hell
try
up
to
as well, right?
communicate.
Hold on, I
Ladies,
got
let's
two of y'all
try.
going.
I promise you, I'm not taking shots. I promise I'm not.
I
This
think
is
I
what I
kind of got a
mean
little
by when we speak sometimes, because we communicate differently, I don't think that it's always received the way that it's sent. That's what I mean. Like
Quay still a computer.
That sound like a shot.
His example, I get it, y'all. It was a very small, silly surface example. I get it. It's not a deeper conversation. It's not a deeper thing. It's not like he didn't use any deep examples, right? Okay. But what I was trying to say was a woman already knows what she wants to eat and what she doesn't want to eat. And most importantly, she definitely knows what she don't want to eat. That's a fact. Okay. She always know that. But listen, we can always tell y'all where to go, what to eat, what to buy, what to wear. This is something we can always do. We can at any given time do these things all the time. But if we're saying no, I'm not going to do that, that is us saying no. I'm going to take a step back from always having to be in control of everything. And I'm going to say, no, you pick. No, you initiate the conversation. No, I mean, you, because I can, trust me, I can do it, but I shouldn't be doing it. I shouldn't be doing all the things. I shouldn't be making all the decisions. I shouldn't be
This is
the one
absurd.
to always
This is
initiate the
absurd.
conversations. I shouldn't be doing that all the time, right? Like, I guess I just don't get it. Like it's the same thought process of a man that says he wants a woman to be in her feminine bag, right? But will then put her in a position where she has to she has to be I'm trying to use the right terminology. Like it's saying I want this woman to be feminine, but you put her in survival mode. It's like
I want her to be
wanting. No, I'm just giving an example.
Let her cook.
Wanting a woman to be feminine, but she's living in survival mode. You guys don't understand what I'm saying? Like you want her to be feminine, but she's literally living in survival mode. Like she doesn't know when this bill is going to get paid. She doesn't know where we're going to eat next. She doesn't know. I'm just giving examples. Obviously, this is an extreme, but I'm giving an example. You can't expect a woman that's in survival mode to be able to be soft and feminine. She's afraid. She's fearful of, am I going to be able to feed my babies? Where are we going to live? These are things that she's now concerned about, right? So it's very hard for her to just be in her feminine energy and live in that when her mind is going, maybe I should do something. Should I be helping? Should I be doing? Should I be? She's going to be looking around for solutions because as a woman, she's wired to take care of the family, to take care of the kids, to make sure everybody is good, right? She's wired to do that, not in the same way you are, in that nurturing way, in that I got to make sure they're good way, especially if she has children, right? So her first thought is gonna be, I need to feed my babies. How am I gonna feed my babies? Like, how are they gonna have a roof over their head and be protected, right? That's gonna be a concern. Like, I wish I understood that. Women care about that too, very much. How is she gonna be a homemaker with no home? How is she gonna nurture when there's nothing to nurture with? So I understand that y'all are stuck in this space of that's not your concern, but how can a woman not be concerned about that? Of course she's concerned about that. So you can't put, my example is this. You can't put a woman in a space where she has to think or worry about these types of things and then expect her to be able to be vulnerable and soft and calm and rested and peaceful, because that's not a calm, rested, peaceful state of mind. It's just not, right? She's not gonna give you those feminine responses that she probably should give you. She's not gonna approach the situations in the soft, peaceful way that she probably should. She's just not. It's gonna be difficult for her to do that because she's concerned, she's worried, she's anxious, she's fearful.
We understand that. I wasn't there yet. I was just at the meal. So asking the man what he wants to eat. So what if this man just wants to? No, I'm just asking a question. What if this man just wants to be fed? Like, just simple. What if this man just wants to be fed? What if he doesn't want to have to decide what it is? Like, how does that tie back to leadership?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Quick question. So with the groceries, the groceries that we got to cook for this man to eat, who going to pick up the groceries? Because the man going to be at work. Okay, so the only the thing that the woman is doing, the woman is not paying for the groceries. But said woman has went to the store, brought those groceries in, prepped those groceries, cooked those groceries, served those groceries. The only thing y'all ain't did. So I gotta pick what we eat into. Damn.
This is a serious conversation.
Right. It's a serious conversation.
Are we for real?
Yeah, my boyfriend has done, because every time I ask him what he want to go eat, he kept saying Applebee's, and I'm like, why do you keep saying Applebee's? He was like, because I'm just gonna say Applebee's because I know you're gonna tell me what you want to eat. So he really has learned me. So he'd just be like Applebee's, so I can turn around and say a different restaurant. But by me allowing him to have that space to even say Applebee's, he appreciates that. So he just say Applebee's and let me change the restaurant.
Saying allowing is crazy. Saying the word allow is crazy.
Okay, wait. Can we stop with? I'm trying to understand what Donovan was saying. Can we back up his comments? I wasn't being rude. I keep trying to understand what he was saying.
Donovan is a 1960s type. So that's what he was saying. He said Grandpa didn't have these issues. Grandma cooked daily. That's because Grandpa was handing over that check.
Yes,
okay.
He was.
And
they didn't have Chick-fil-A though, Donovan.
You see what I'm saying, man?
This is a serious conversation.
I don't think they're serious because y'all.
I really do. I think it's laughable, and it's also shameful. We really focus on food, and we got all these other things to talk about. Maintaining a house, a home. How we supposed to get to that stuff if we have food?
Sweetheart, men are not even allowed to go to the grocery store because they don't listen. You can't even send a man to the grocery store. They need a whole PowerPoint presentation just to go get some sour cream.
That's true.
What is happening?
That is true.
Wait a minute. Okay,
that is true.
Wait. What is going on?
That's why they don't let us come together on the show. That's why they don't put that many of us on the show at one time.
This is crazy. I got to pull somebody in. Let me come up here. Let me come up to the top because my man, I'm not about to let him out quiet on this. Hirsch, come on off mute, man. Do you want to decide what y'all gonna eat, or do you just want the meal? Which one you want, man? Give me the real Hirsch.
He might be tired. I'm
gonna see what he say. Go ahead, Hirsch.
I mean on a regular basis, or just like because it changes. Like most of the time, I really don't have a preference. I don't care. But there may be a certain day where I may say, I feel like this today. I want that.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's my leader. That's it.
What'd you say, JR?
I said that's the leader. That's it. You tell her when to change it.
Man, see, I
if you
thought I was tripping.
Problem.
I thought I was tripping.
No, the problem is that you're saying that men being indecisive as far as food that's the issue. Because I'm the same way. I don't care. Like my wife says, I don't like you. Where do you want to go? Like, I don't know. Well,
y'all not indecisive. Y'all easy to please. Y'all don't care. Y'all just want to be
that's sex. We're not talking about. We're talking about food right
now. Exactly. So when I ask you what you want, you should know.
No. Because I don't care. In fact, it's delegation. A part of leadership is delegation. Now, remember, I don't have to make all the decisions.
Stop that.
Sometimes do you know who you talking to on this panel? Hold on, stop playing. Do you know who you talking to on this panel? And you gonna say that? If you don't, quit lying. Stop lying. We probably had a true conversation. Stop lying.
I just said delegation. I ain't talking down to nobody. I'm just saying.
Let me ask you who you know on this panel, male-wise delegate? Raise your hand. Truthfully, I wait.
Wait, what? I'm not delegating nothing.
Right, my point exactly. My point exactly.
I said my wife. I ain't talking about people. I said my wife.
My wife. Let me ask you this, Beatboxer, real quick. You said you don't care wherever the girl wants to go to eat, but when you first met this woman, your current wife or any other woman before her, did you not have that sort of that? Oh, this is where I'm going to take you. This is where we're going to go. And you had that decisive planning, like, oh, this is what we're going to do, and this is what so you kind of figure out what she likes, and then you decide where you're going to go. So it's not so much you telling her what to eat, it's where you're going to go to eat. So it's the director.
My bad. So one of the ways you can tell a woman is not really serious and likes to play games or not, if you ask her, hey, where you want to go out to eat, and she gets mad about that, just cut her off.
Yeah.
Seriously, because I'm asking because I want to know. I want to know like who you are. I want to know what you like. I don't want to play games with you. I want to know what you're interested in. I'm not trying to figure this code because every woman's like a code. It's like a lock. I'm not trying to do all that in the beginning. I want to go up front. And if you say, oh, well, you should know, or you should just do it because you're a leader, I'm just going to cut you off. I'm not even going to talk to you no more.
Okay,
so a relationship is a practice. Them doctors don't know everything when they come out of school. A relationship is a practice, so sometimes you just got to be around that person and practice that person and pay attention to. So it ain't sometimes I just can't have. I could tell you my favorite color and my favorite food. Now that's what I can tell you in black and white. But some quirks about me and some stuff I can't tell you that about me.
You just have to pay attention.
That's true. But also not only that, but I guess I'm looking at it like this for real. Like no smoke. I really no smoke. But just like you're asking her what she wants because you want to kind of get a feel for what she likes. She might be asking you the same thing. Like when you're dating somebody, right? And you've been dating them for, I don't know, a little bit of time. Okay. You've been dating them for a little bit, right? Like sometimes you legit don't want to make the decision. You're like, I decided last time I don't want to. Like you pick this time. You pick, right? Like go ahead. Like, so I think maybe it wasn't the greatest example for him to use, and I get that. Okay. But I don't think it was the food itself. I think it was more of if she is doing things to show you that she can step back and she can take her hands off the driver wheel and give you the opportunity to do that. Like, is she trying to do that? Like, I think that's the point, right? Like, it's not always going to be this grand gesture. Sometimes it's going to be something small. Sometimes it's going to be her just conceding certain things to you, conceding certain decisions to you, saying, you know what, I don't have to speak this time. I'm going to let him speak. Sometimes it's going to be those moments. It's not going to always be these jaw-dropping moments, these huge decisions, right? Sometimes it's just going to be small things like, no, I always pick. He always goes where I want to go. But this time, let him decide. you decide. You know what I'm saying? Like she is in a way trying to show you I can be a team player. I can be a part of this team, right? Like I think that's the point, right? Like maybe he didn't use the best examples, but that's the point, right? Like it's going to be difficult for somebody, because I don't know what his relationship status is. It's going to be difficult for somebody that's kind of the single and not really in a long-term relationship to really be able to give really deep, like deep examples. Like what kind of examples are he going to give? All he can talk about is food and like, let's just be so for real, right? But the point that he's making is valid, right? His overall point is valid. So let's not get lost in that.
I think if they made it a bigger issue, like for example, well, what would you do if a man broke into the house? And then it would be a much easier thing for a man to grasp, like, oh, I would do this and this. Then that's where you would see the leadership aspect come out, the decisive making decision. But when we think about food, we think, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it does matter because you don't know the big thing will matter if he's going to make the right decision in the big things if he can't make a decisive decision on the smaller things. So at least that's what I understand from a woman's perspective, just having dealt with them long enough. Like, why would they care what? It doesn't matter. Food is food. But actually, they know they don't care. You don't care, but they want you to care, because if you care about the little things, you'll care about the big things. The man breaking into the house. Maybe she's drowning underwater. Is he going to jump in and try to save her and the kids? It's like that's how they think. So they think, oh, food. Who's going to pay the bill? That's a slightly bigger thing than the food. So it's like it's little things. If you don't care about the little things, in their mind, how can you care about the big things?
Yeah, and so that's a valid point, Joe. And I think, Lester, that's really what I was trying to highlight. Yeah, there's a difference in thinking, right? Because to your point, Joe, sometimes that man who's in that leadership position, he has bigger things to deal with and consider. So for that guy, sometimes you just preparing him a meal or getting him something to eat is all he needs, because he's trying to figure out how y'all gonna make this mortgage payment. So that's the point that I was making. There's differences in perspective. So sometimes that guy may not want to have to decide what to eat. He just wants to eat because he's focused on building y'all, making sure y'all bills is paid, making sure her car is good, making sure everybody taken care of. So that's the perspective. I said this. Say that again.
I said, because I understand what you're saying, but for her to prepare you something that you want to eat, that you're going to enjoy, at some point she knows what you like to eat. And that's because you already, in a way, told her what you want to eat. So if she picks up some grandiose meal like oysters, and you're not a fan of oysters, but she made it the best oyster platter you could possibly have, and you're like, wow, thank you for the gesture, but that's not what I like to eat. That's because she knows beforehand what you like. Oh, he likes steak. So I'm going to cook him his favorite steak and mashed potatoes. So even if she's taking the initiative, actually you were the one who told her what you wanted before so she's already acting on instructions you gave her in the past on something as small as what you like to eat. So you are in fact giving her instruction and leadership on the smaller things like food. So innocuous, but it's important because now she knows what you like. She can feed you the meal, and she don't have to ask you over and over, what do you like to eat? Because she already knows. So if you know what she likes to eat and you're telling her we're going to go here because you already know her enough to tell her where we're going to go for this meal, the Cheesecake Factory, J. Alexander, but you know what she likes. So she's asking you something in the same way that you say, hey, baby, I'm hungry. You don't have to tell her exactly what you like because she knows. So she's going to fix that. And the opposite is reverse. Hey, let's go out to eat someplace. And I know exactly where to take my wife, my girl, because I know what she likes to eat. I know what kind of food she's into. I'm not going to take her to a fish restaurant when I know she's into steak, or vice versa. And she doesn't even have to know what the restaurant is because I know generally what she likes to eat. Same exact principle.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Like I said, I'm just speaking to the perspectives. At the end of the day, to Herschel's point, it's gonna change. Yep, it's gonna change. Sometimes the man is just gonna enjoy the meal because he's being fed, and then sometimes he may be like, hey, I'm tasting this. Let's go get this. So it's gonna change. So I understand. I said I'm just speaking to the perspective difference between the men versus the women. I got more. Go ahead, Coco, then I'm gonna get back to it.
So maybe this hopefully can be the last point about the food.
Go ahead.
But I think that you made a good point that needs to be touched on, right? Like, since we're talking about how there is a perspective difference, and you're right. Like the female perspective and the male perspective is just different when it comes to these things. We're talking about the same topic, but we're seeing it differently, right? I understand that this is just me talking to men, right? We understand that you guys have the serious, weighty responsibility of making sure that the family is provided for, protected. We understand that that's a huge responsibility, right? We understand that, right? But I think that here's the perspective difference that as women we would like for you to know, right? While we understand that, and for those of us that know better, we respect it. So we try to give you that room and that space. But you should just know that we need you to come down sometimes. We need you to come out of those big major life things, and we need you to care about some of the other things too. They may not be your everyday concern, they're our everyday concern. But we need you to be aware and a part of those
like
conversations.
What? Like what?
Sometimes too, right? Like, you know, for instance, the food conversation. I get it. You're busy. You don't want to have to worry about food. I'm not asking you to cook it. All I said was what you want to eat. You know what I mean? Like I could be asking you because I could be wanting to make what you want. I could get in the kitchen and make anything. I could make anything. But I might be wanting to make what you want, right? So I'm asking. Like, I think that men need to understand that. Like, I understand you got the stuff to do. I get it. But I need you to also care about these other things as well. Sometimes you gotta, that's important. And I think that's another difference between men and women that we miss, right? Like, what's important to you is important to us too, right? And we just want what's important to us for y'all to care about that as well. Doesn't mean you got to do it every day. Doesn't mean it's your responsibility. It just means we want you to care. Boom. That's it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that right there. Appreciate that right there. All right. I got one more, and then we're going to go to this next video. This brother in this video said actually two things. I'm going to tie these together. So he said that essentially men want a feminine woman because essentially he wants a dummy. And then he also said that's what he said. He said men want a feminine woman because she's a dummy, or he looks at her as a dummy. And then he also said that we confuse soft with silent. So those are the 2 points that he made. So the men want a feminine woman because we think she's a dummy. And then we also confuse soft with silent. Let me ask it like this. Do women, I know we got 3 of y'all on here tonight. Do women feel like taking on this feminine position to a man somehow, in his words, makes you a dummy, or essentially makes you silent, or silences your voice? I'm trying to tie both of his points together. Is it a disadvantage? Go ahead, Cole. I saw you come off.
I think it is to the man that does not know how to use the power correctly, like without abusing it.
Okay.
I can't speak for every background, but I think in other backgrounds where the foundation and tradition is established, I think it is easier to be more in the feminine space, because there's agreement and expectations and understanding if you don't live up to those, that there's consequences. Like it's just that simple.
All right.
I find it's very taxing, that same simple logic does not come across fully in our community.
Okay.
Dummy.
Okay.
A
Appreciate that
submissive
right
woman
there.
would actually express her intelligence
I
because
know why.
submissive woman is going to be a listener. She's going to listen.
I'm
She's
gonna
going
let you
to
rock right after
absorb,
Joe,
and then
JR.
All right.
she's going to give feedback on things about himself. I've said some things to women where they just sit back and listen, and they would say things about me that I didn't know how they would know. But it's like little things I would say that they would pick up on because they were soft. And you can't be a dummy and listen to someone and then interpret those things and say, okay, this is what you're really saying. Because only a submissive woman would be able to do that. If she would actually be a dummy if she's more in a more outspoken, overly outspoken. I find that women who are softer to be much more intelligent, women who are submissive to be much more caring than a woman who is not. So if that gentleman in the video is saying that's what most men are looking for, which he may be right, I don't really know. It's the internet streets. Then that man's mindset is warped. He doesn't really understand what he's looking for. Basically, a male version of himself, which is probably not going to work in the end. But if he really wants an intelligent woman, he's not going to look for a woman who's silent but dumb, who's submissive but stupid. She's gonna be the opposite of that, at least in terms of helping him achieve his goal and his purpose in life.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah, I didn't agree with him all. Let me get these comments, and I'm coming to you, JR. Let's see. Donovan said, "Let's see if she make it. It's hot and delicious, and we can clean our plate. That's the equivalent of receiving flowers from Our Lady." Oh, okay. You was touching on it. Okay, see, fellas know about these meals. Let me leave it right there.
Sure.
Let's see. Vince said, "Let's see. Submission is being able to tell your wife she can't do something, and she understands that you have her best interests at heart, and she does it without question." Huh.
Can I ask you a question as a follow-up to that?
Go ahead. To the comment or what? Or to the topic?
To the comment, to the topic of submission, since we're talking about it right now, right?
Go ahead.
Do you believe that as a woman, I can tell you how to lead?
As a woman, you can tell the man how to lead?
Yes.
No.
How can you tell me how to submit?
I can't.
Boom. Where my boom at? I can't get
I know you going somewhere with it. Go ahead.
The point was made. And this is no offense, but I think this is what I mean by men and women, right? Like in how we communicate.
What was that first question again?
This is exactly what I said. I asked him, as a woman, can I tell him how to lead me?
Okay, but as a leader, do you have to be a follower sometimes to be a leader? Even if you have to follow sometimes what your woman says?
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my question to him was, my point that I was making was, we do a lot of this, right? These talking points and things like that. But when it comes down to it, as a woman, I cannot tell a man how to lead. Realistically speaking, I can give him some things that about me that I respond to, and he could take those things into consideration. He can take my personality into consideration when he's leading. He can take circumstances into consideration about me when he leads. You know what I'm saying? I can communicate with him things that I like or don't like, but at the end of the day, for me to expect to tell him how to lead me is lopsided, right? Because then I'm really leading. Right? I'm not really submitting. So my point was, how can a woman tell a man how to lead? And then how can a man tell a woman how to submit? Right? This is something that I think we need to shift in this space. We need to stop it feeling like as women that we could tell men how to lead. We got to stop that. We can say, hey, I don't like this, or hey, this is uncomfortable for me, or we can say those kinds of things. Absolutely. But we can't tell men how to lead, right? And men shouldn't be trying to tell us how to submit. Now, if you don't like what I'm doing, that's a conversation we can have, right? Like that's absolutely. Or you could just choose not to pick me, right? The same way I can say, well, I don't want to be led by you, right? That's a choice that we have, right? But for me to be going around saying this is what leadership look like, y'all don't like that when women do that, and most often women are wrong when they say that. Whatever they say is wrong. So I think we need to just also get to understand that sometimes when men are saying this is what submission looks like, this is the point that this young man was saying. This is the point that he was making. Like, I don't want us to get lost in the fact that he's young and clearly he's not someone that's in a long-term committed relationship. I get it. So his examples, y'all, are going to be a little skewed. Okay, so let's just understand that. But at the core, he's saying y'all sound crazy because we do. Like, we do sound crazy. You're asking a woman to be submissive and feminine, but then you're doing things that kind of contradicted a little bit, or I should say your expectations. Let me say that way. Your expectations, though, are not completely in line with what submission really looks like. And for a woman, you're saying you want a leader, but then you don't even understand what it looks like to come under leadership and to submit. So what he's saying is we're not doing this right. Like, we're doing it all wrong. Like, men, you're doing it wrong, women, you, and he's right? Like, maybe some of the points he made were a little childish. You know what I'm saying? They were a little showing his age or whatever, but at the end of the day, he's not wrong. You can say what you don't like that a woman does, but to say that you can tell a woman how she needs to submit, that's no. Just like I can tell you what I don't like, no sense, but I can't tell you how to lead me. That's crazy. I can't.
Wait, but Chloe, it sounds like I was almost rocking with you for a second, but I've been thinking about it because it actually goes against what you're saying a leader's supposed to do. If I'm a leader, I'm supposed to tell you exactly how I want to lead or how I want you to submit to me. But if you're saying, well, it doesn't work for me because like as me as a submissive, it doesn't make any. So it's like, okay, for example, we think of like army. I can't go into the army and tell the major how I choose to follow him, how I choose to submit to the major. I have to just do either I choose not to go in the army or I follow that major's rules and dictations, even if I don't like it. But I don't get to say this is how I'm going to choose to follow your leadership or follow your instructions to me. So I don't think it works quite the same way, because if you're saying, you want a man who's leading you, but then you're saying I still want to decide how I want to follow that leader, that completely is contradictory.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Right. So I think maybe you're misunderstanding my point. My point is a man doesn't know what it means for a woman to submit. Just like a woman doesn't know what it means for a man to lead. Right. And what we're doing is, as women, we're going around saying leadership looks like this. And a man that's a leader does this. And a man that's a leader does that. And usually all of the stuff that we're saying is wrong. Unless it's a woman who has been under a man's leadership that's a good leader, then yeah, she'll have some good nuggets to share. But if she's someone who hasn't really had good leadership before, and she's over here talking about, a man that lead need to be doing this or doing that, and you're like, what? Like, no, that's wrong. That's the same as some of these men with the talking points that are saying what submission is. Well, a woman, she should be doing this or doing that. What? It's like, just like Donovan said, submission ain't a word meaning powerless. So if I have if you tell me something, I should be able to have a question. It's okay, because we're having a conversation. It's different than me saying, I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. That's different than me saying, okay, well, okay, you're saying no, so what should we do? Is it a different way we should do this? Or can we do this later? Or is this something that, or is there an alternative? Or I can do that, right? We can have and that's not me not submitting.
Well,
I'm still submitting. I'm just
people don't even
I'm just simply, rebuttal. You know what I'm saying? Like walking that out with you. And that's all I was saying. Like, I think we got to get into a space where we just stop being hard-nosed about this. Like, we just stop acting like it's all black and white, because it's not. And I can't tell you any more about leadership than you can tell me what it's like for a woman to submit to a man.
I get that. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Yeah. JR, let me JR, you still there, man?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Did you lose your point, man? Go ahead.
Yeah, nah, just gonna off Mr. Cole's point. Yeah, so it's a case of like, because obviously, you know, I've only been in the UK about 20 years, right? So I've still kind of got that, you know, strong ties to back home and whatnot, you know, going back home to Africa and whatnot. So, yeah, the word submission, yeah, it's crazy, man. Because I think, well, obviously, once upon a time, you know, these were just unspoken words that people, I think, just understood. You know, the man had to do what he had to do. The woman understood what she had to do as well. So, yeah, but I think because the word has been weaponized and is deemed as toxic, you know, in 2025, I think it kind of ties well into the title of the conversation, right? Because I don't think women actually want to submit, and I don't think men want women to submit. And I think somebody made that point earlier, right? About responsibilities and whatnot, and both genders have their reasons as to why they don't want to follow, and the other one don't want to be a leader. You know, because there's risks for both parties, and it just depends on who's gonna burn first. So with the title, it just fits in well with what Miss Cole was saying in terms of bringing back, you know, the tradition and whatnot. Unfortunately, it's never gonna come back because men are happy with the current situation that it is of the 50-50, the woman, you know, playing her part, etc., etc. Because like I said, it's about who's gonna burn first, right? So men understand that they might get a baby first before they gotta give a ring. So why would I not allow a woman to have a voice? Speak. But you're gonna pay your way though.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it just like that. Let me take us to the second one. I got a second one that came.
Wait, can I say something real quick? I just got a PSA
Go ahead,
real quick because I think that our community has a negative connotation on being submissive. Let me tell y'all, women, being submissive is life. Okay, it's so nice over here. This how you live a soft. This how you get in your soft girl era. Okay, this how you get your soft girl bag. Because once you submit to that man, you know, and he know you submissive, you can almost get whatever out of him. So it's a give and take thing from both sides. But being submissive is not slavery. It's not washing baseboards. You know, it's not none of that. Okay, it is. Now if you feel like you being used, then you can handle that. But I just want people to know that being submissive is nothing wrong with that. Whether you're married or not, because I'm not married, but I am very submissive, and it ain't a thing that man won't do for me, no matter how many nerves he get on the mind.
You gonna slide that in there, huh? All right, let me run this second.
The men, y'all ready? Femininity tests. It is a way that we feel safe. So now I'm really testing you to see how far will you let me disrespect you. But ultimately, what I want the most is my man to be a leader. So if you stop me from the beginning, I might be cussing you out in my mind, but secretly I love it. Secretly, I'm like, ooh, my baby, that's a man right there. That man took charge over me. You're letting me know how I get to move and shake within your boundaries because you're the lines. We're the color. You got to teach me to color inside of the lines. So if you don't set that
Man, y'all, wait a minute, man.
Another life hack for the men. Y'all ready? Femininity tests. It is a way that we feel safe. So now I'm really testing you to see how far will you let me disrespect you. But ultimately, what I want the most is my man to be a leader. So if you stop me from the beginning, I might be cussing you out in my mind, but secretly I love it. Secretly, I'm like, my baby, that's a man right there. That man took charge over me. You're letting me know how I get to move and shake within your boundaries because you're the lines. We're the color. You got to teach me the color inside of the lines. So if you don't set that strong.
Oh, come on.
I think she's right to a large extent.
No, she is
what?
not.
What did he say?
To a large extent. Not all the way right.
Joe, what's going on with you tonight, Joe? What's going on with you tonight, man?
Yeah, his voice sounds different as well tonight, man. What's going on with you?
His voice do sound different. Is this the
what
Joe?
happened?
Is this the real Joe? Or is this the other Joe?
What other Joe? Something different because I'm not agreeing with exactly.
Oh, come on.
Cole's got Joe in the mind, I guess.
Every man has been through it. Every man who's ever dated a woman, talked to a woman, it's like they've all done these little tests. It's like little things that we might not even realize. And some things, sometimes I pick up on like, oh, that was a test. But I might not even realize until like a day later. I was like, oh, that was a test. So it's like they do test us, but they do it in such a way in which it kind of usually goes under the radar. So it's not as bold as I'm gonna cuss him out and see what he does. It can be just simply, was he listening to? When I said that what my favorite color was, and then you remember it, it's like, oh, he was. And then you might be a year later say, oh, I think she was that a test? I don't know. So the things that we think about, like, was that a test? It probably was. So yeah, it's not this, I'm gonna put them in dangerous situations and see.
Joe,
no,
you're killing me, bro.
But they do test.
Joe, you're killing me.
And I know every woman here would agree, and every man has been through it, which is why ain't no way,
No. I ain't been
you out of there. You out of there, Joe. You out of there. I'm coming. I gotta come straight to a lady on this. I'm coming straight to Tay. Tay, I'm coming straight to you. Was that lady? Was she right, or was she tripping with some of what she said? I think she was tripping. Give me the female perspective. Was she right?
Oh, see, you can't take my perspective because I'm I am I'm the kind of beatbox don't like. I'm loud. No, I'm opinionated.
Oh my God!
I kind of ain't got no filter. So I like an alpha man to come and be like, all right, girl, shut up. We about to go here. I'd be like, oh, but it kind of explains why the good girls like the bad boys, why the introverts are with the extroverts. It kind of it's kind of like that. I mean, some women don't like the kind that is kind of, the alpha and be telling you what you about to do. And you be like, oh, I'm about to do that for real. And he be like, okay. I mean, so you can't ask me because I was excited. I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I don't know. But
you
yeah,
crazy.
I kind of
So you agree with her. So what I'm saying is basically
Kinda.
true.
Are we Klingons?
Yeah.
Are we Klingons or something? Is that what we're doing? We're like fighting, is it Star Trek? Is that what we're doing?
Oh
man, it's some wild stuff going on. That's all I'm gonna say. It's some wild stuff going on right now.
No, people don't fight, but people can bust people balls though.
That's why you get a white one.
Oh my God!
I will say this lastly.
Here you go.
I will say this lastly. The number one way that a woman tests a man is not the little things even that I mentioned. And that's just small potatoes. It's energy. They test a man's strength, his character, his ability to remain a pillar. So is he unwavering? Is he unmoving? Is he like a rock? And that's something you can try to fake. A lot of guys try to. So they posture, they postulate. They have a lot of maybe cars, clothes, status, whatever. My career is this. Look how big I am, even physically. But it's more so energy that they test, and that is impossible to fake. Everything else you can be like the Tinder swimmer. You can make it look like you're something. But energy, A woman can test a man's energy and is like, I can't shake this man, and therefore I'm
So
into this man, and I don't
No,
even know
if
the
she
why.
no.
disrespects
We
you
not
because
Why
of
doing
your
did
that.
that?
energy,
Hold
Nah.
on, no. Why
Where
did
did you
that
Boom.
get
man
that
just
from, Caprice?
invite my energy to him? And when I give him my energy,
We
that's
didn't
why he
like that.
date white
He
women.
didn't. He didn't.
It's like
No.
it's like it's like
Uh-uh.
a it's like you turned into a victim. It's like throwing a rock and hiding your hand. Don't
I love
you
throwing a rock.
you know what it is over here. So when you invited that energy to you and now you got it and now you get the aggressiveness. Now
Uh-huh.
that's why you date a white woman. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
That's cool and
What?
that's fine. That's fine.
That's
No,
crazy.
but
That's cool.
listen,
Ooh-wee.
I'll be super quick. I was being facetious. I was joking. I wasn't really being serious. But I will say this though, like I do
But the
feel as
part that
though
you wasn't facetious about is you dating white women because you do date white women.
I
So
date
if you
all
want to be
types. I date
facetious
all
about
types of
one
women.
part, be facetious about the whole thing because I ain't think the first part was facetious because the second part about the white woman part was true.
You called me out first. I can't respond. I can't
I I
respond.
I bust Vince balls. I mess with Jr.
I'm
Is it
Definitely
I'm
is it no?
busting
I
balls.
mess with
I,
Joe and his bullet points. You
I'm
know,
okay
and then
with
read the room.
I'm
Read
okay
the
with being
room.
I'm okay with my balls being busted. I was just being facetious. I can't be. I
Okay.
like to joke too. I like to blow. I like to
Okay.
bust balls too. You
Okay,
know.
so that's why I was saying we weren't arguing, but yeah, I do like to buzz balls,
I
and
wasn't saying.
then when I
I don't. I wasn't saying we were arguing. If I coming off that way, I'm sorry. I was joking. I'm very dry. I have dry humor. It's like
okay,
super dry. I'm like a white
no,
guy.
I love humor. Just don't poke the bear, and then when the bear go raw, you be like, that's
I
why.
know. No, I like poking the bear. I have no problems with poking the bear. Let me be very clear. I have no problems with that. I ain't tripping. That I have no issues. All I'm. Hey, you called me out first. I had to get back at you. I didn't say something really low. That's it. That's all I was doing. But I'll just be very quick. Like I just don't like when women infantilize themselves and be like, oh, I gotta check a woman like you're like a 5-year-old. Like, right? Like I really don't like that. So when women like and this is why I disagree with you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Right. I as a man haven't dealt with that because there's some black men who don't stand on business. So if you are that black man who's dealt with that, you might not be standing on some business that you need to be standing on, to be quite frank. So I haven't dealt with that personally. I haven't. Black women have been disrespecting me, going crazy on me. I don't know
That's
what y'all
not
talking
testing.
about. So
That is not testing. You know that's not what I'm talking about. That's
you know what
disrespect.
this
That's
is
just being that's
disrespect,
not the same.
testing, all
That's
that.
not the same.
It's the same testing, disrespect, same thing. It's like what red pill is called shit testing. Some guys don't get that because they stand on
I don't get it.
business.
But that's the difference
You
between that.
literally just
It's
said all men get that. You literally just said that.
yeah, but no, I said that, but not the shit testing. That's the extreme form of
Oh,
disrespect. That's not
come
even
on.
testing.
No,
It's
Joe.
just like I don't
Now you're
like this
going
man.
back.
Okay,
They
but Joe,
moonwalking.
that's what she said though. She
Yeah,
said, "Let me see how far I can disrespect you before you
yeah.
do something." And it's like, so
I don't agree with that
that's
part
Okay,
though. I don't
that's
like that
crazy.
part. I don't agree with that part.
that's what I'm saying. Like, should we be doing that type of testing when we talking about being in a serious relationship? Like, why you got to disrespect me to see how far it's gonna take me to flip out? Like, should we
Looking at
even
play.
is that what
It
we
sounds like
define as
it sounds
playing
kind of
games?
ugly. It sounds
It's
ugly.
toxic.
Yeah, that's not right. So
That's
that's when I
toxic.
said 80% of what I agree with. Then she went left field with that. I didn't address that part, and I should have. But I'm just thinking of the more subtle things she mentioned before that, which was, oh yeah, well we're gonna do little, and then she went extreme and saying I'm gonna outright disrespect them and yell at them. Now I should have addressed it. I didn't. So but that's not the kind of testing I'm talking about. We're talking about
It's
the more
all
subtle.
good, Joe. You had us concerned for a minute,
Oh
Joe.
man,
It's
no,
good.
that's
Now
what
let
y'all
me.
thought. No.
It's all good, man. It's
Don't
I
all
do
still
like
good.
think
that, man.
I think Joe's just moonwalking.
Y'all
I
actually
think
thought that I
he's
thought
moonwalking.
that kind of testing that she talked about was what the kind of testing I was talking about.
Well, we didn't
Man,
know, Joe. I was about to go check your connection and make sure this the right Joe because I didn't
I
know
was
if
like,
this
why are
was
they
the
so
right
open arms
Joe.
about this? Little miscommunication. That's all right.
Let me check in with Vince. I know Vince just hopped on. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, but I think she did say disrespect, but I do think it's boundaries because I remember when me and Remy first started dating, she was always late. I mean, we was always late to everything. I was like, look, we not gonna be late. You gonna be on time, but we not going. And some guys will let it be late all the time. I was like, look, if you want to go, we gonna be on time. And she started being on time, and and then also the church's money. Like, I like, look, we not buying that. But we not buying it. Okay, Daddy. Okay, then we not getting it.
Cause I'm gonna get it next time.
Cause she gonna get it next time.
You slipped up, man. She in the background.
She say don't play.
Come on. She want to say something. Cause I be talking a lot of shit, so she be wanting to say.
No, but she's submissive, so she probably get whatever she want out of you because she's submissive.
She do. She knows she do.
So he talked that cash money, but nah, he know what's up.
Yeah, we know too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We know.
That soft life.
Keep working hard, sir. Keep working hard, man.
Man, so
No,
they
but that's
call
toxic.
us out. That's what that is.
What she's talking about is toxic behavior. Like,
yeah, I understand.
That's toxic. Like, I mean, I get the, you know what I'm saying. You might, I get pushing, like, what Tay was saying. When she said, sometimes you might, say a little something, you know what I'm saying? You're like, how you gonna respond to that? Or, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Like, he got to get you straight. That's one thing. But being disrespectful, I don't think there's ever a time where being disrespectful is cute.
Hey, hold on. Now, I did have to get into her one time. Come on.
Here he comes.
Come on.
Trying to redeem himself.
We had first started dating, and she tried to talk to me all crazy. You remember that? And I was like, look, I don't know who you talking to, because I can go home. And she was like, okay, I didn't. I said, my mama don't talk to me that way. And she's like, okay. You remember that though, don't you? Uh-huh.
But I don't think she was testing you. I don't think she was testing you. I think that she was just used to other guys letting her talk to them a certain kind of way. Because when I hear somebody saying testing, I automatically think about a 2-year-old testing their mama to see how far they can get. I think that's so childish to test somebody, like, and then to say disrespect them. That's a whole nother level. My part that I was agreeing on was the kind of alpha male energy where he's kind of, where you don't have to make the decisions. That's what we was just talking about. Essentially, making the decisions and, just telling you kind of what you want to do. But I think that, that was her. The beginning part was very toxic.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. And all I said, I know she was tying back to the, the whole being feminine and all that. And I said, and that was her perspective on it too. All right, cool. I got one last one and we're gonna get out of here. Let me just run this.
You
19.
Relationship status?
Single.
Why do you think you're single at 19?
Because I choose to be.
For what reason?
Because I date to marry.
So you'd only date somebody if you know you'd have a future with them?
Yeah.
That's what good. Qualifications would a guy need?
He has to be intentional. I'm also Christian, so I would want him to be Christian. Be a man of God and a man who fears God. And a man who is intentional with creating a future.
That's really
How tall
nice.
does he have to be?
Response.
I don't care, as long as he's taller than me. Yeah.
Short kings allowed?
Yeah, I don't care. It's pretty easy to be taller than me anyways.
And by God-fearing, do you mean does he have to be very religious or just can he just go once a week to church and be kind of...
No, I would want him to be really religious because I am, and I don't want to go by myself on Sundays. I want him to lead our family. Yeah.
So you put God first, man second, and then you under him?
Yes.
And then the child under you?
No, the child before me. Yeah.
All right.
Whoa.
So that's the last one for the night. I know we talking, men don't want feminine women. So yeah, I came across this video. I thought this video was interesting because I'm gonna be honest, I have not heard this type of talk in a while now. Yeah, I have not heard a young person sound like this young lady in a while. Is that Tay? Oh, there she go. Yeah, I have not heard this in a while. So yeah, when I saw the video, I'm just like, I got to bring this to the panel. So yeah, I wanted to bring this to y'all, and just I want to present the question just like this. Is this still possible? If especially in the Black community, is this still possible? Is this still doable? Is it too late? She sounds different than a lot of what we hear, especially on these social media streets, these YouTube, Instagram, Facebook streets. They don't sound like this girl, and she says she's 19. Is this still possible? So just give me y'all opinion. Is this still possible to get us to a point where we think similar to how she's thinking at 19?
Yes.
Go ahead, Coco. You think
yes.
it is? Go ahead.
I'm gonna say yes because that's the way I'm raising my sons. So I'm gonna say yes. Like I don't know what type of women they're gonna run into. Hopefully they're gonna run into some like her. But that's how I'm raising them. You know, that's as the feminine energy in their lives. That is what I am teaching them to look for, right, in a woman, right? Like, and you know, their dad is teaching them from a male perspective, but from a female perspective, that's what I'm teaching them to look for. A woman who is intentional, a woman who has morals and values and principles. Like, I like to think that there are other parents out here that are raising their daughters with morals, values, and principles. I don't think that we're the last ones. So, I mean, I believe yes. Do I think it's going to be easy to spot these people? No, I don't. But do I think that they exist? Yes, clearly, because he just spoke to them. So, like, they're out there, but they're not easy to find because she's not going to be where all the rest of the girls is at. She's not into the same thing all of the rest of the girls are into. So if you're looking for her, you're going to actually have to look for her. You're going to have to be an attention. The intentional man is going to find her.
Right.
The intentional man is going to know how to find her. The problem is we have a lot of men out here that are saying they want those types of women, but they are not intentional men. They are not. And Vince, you made a wonderful point about, earlier about, a man taking a certain amount of time. I actually believe that an intentional male still might take some time, depending on where he is in life. He may need more time to get prepared, right? An intentional man, especially, she's 19. If she meets a 20-year-old man, he gonna have to date her for a little bit because he may not be in a situation yet where he can take on this family that she's saying she wants. She wants kids. She may not want to have to work when she has kids. So a 20-year-old dude probably gonna need a little bit of time to get to that point, right? That doesn't necessarily mean he's not intentional about her, though. He just may genuinely need time, right?
Right.
So, but I agree. I think, unfortunately, we just not seeing enough intentional men, and we're not seeing enough intentional women. We're just not. So a lot of this is playing around. Like you said, a lot of this, we're just playing around. You don't really want her like that. You don't like her like that. You don't, right? But she good for the moment, so it's all good. And same thing with her. She getting something out of the deal, so she'll hang around. And I think that's what's happening. So do I think that it's still out there? Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that right there. B-Boxer, what you say, man? Is it too late or is it still out there?
I don't think it's enough people. I do think there are people, but I don't think it's enough to change the zeitgeist of our time. Like, I just think it's kind of over. And I don't mean like in the aspect of Black people. I think it's just in the West, that's over. There's just too many things going on where I think women have kind of chosen what they want. And I'm okay with that to a degree. Hey, freedom and all that. And men are just kind of adapted to it. It's over. I don't think that's, and to be fair, what JR said, and about men being okay with the 50-50 piece. That's kind of where we're at too, because a lot of men are going to be like, hey, I just don't want to get screwed. So unless there's a caveat with that, if they do find a woman like that and they can trust her enough to be like, she's a woman of integrity and honor. There are women out there like that. I would say my wife is that way, but that's just me. And I could be wrong because I'm not an outside observer, right? I'm in it, so I could be wrong. But there's just not a lot of women out here. And men too, who are people of integrity. They're all trying to get what they want for free. So yeah, I don't think there's enough people, to be honest. So fortunate.
Okay. Appreciate that. Cole, what you say? You think we can still have that, or is it too late?
Repeat the question.
No, so the young lady, she's just, like I said, essentially got her head on straight, 19 years old, saying she's dating with intention. So basically, she ain't about to be out here playing around, looking for a God-fearing man, a religious man. Basically, she just looking for a solid husband so she can be a solid wife and they can move forward. Yeah. Do you think that that's still possible, or you think it's too late to have something that exists similar to that mindset?
No, I don't think it's too late. I mean, I think having marriage at this day and age is a very complicated equation. So given some factors like her age, morals, and all of that, I mean, I think she can find a person. Given her background, I don't think it'll be too difficult.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it right there. What you say, Herschel? Is it too late, man, or we still got a chance to see more of that?
I mean, we're going in the wrong direction with society and everything, but I don't think it's necessarily too late. We just need more intelligent people, and it's a lot of ignorance going on in the world, and it's being taught and inbred and all that type of stuff. So, like even like her, like she seemed like a very intelligent young lady. I mean, it looked like she was even on a college campus or something like that. But intelligence don't even have to even mean going to school. Just read a book, or just teach something, because that's scientifically, if you keep stimulating your brain cells, you're gonna make better decisions. You're gonna think about things better. You're gonna make better choices. You're gonna have different philosophies that are more, as far as like the evolution, as far as like for survival, for living. So unfortunately, when we're just rotting our brains by just staring at screens and we're letting everything do everything for us, we're losing that level of intelligence, and this is kind of winning the battle, so to speak. But that's what I said. Again, it starts in the homes again. For these parents, people that that have young kids. Encourage your kids to read. Teach them things. Let them have them keep doing something to stimulate that brain and brain cells, so they keep growing. They can mature. They can be intelligent. They can make good decisions. They can speak like that young lady.
Right. No, I appreciate that right there, Vince. What you say, man?
I don't think it's possible, especially in our culture. Talk about African Americans in the West. It's not gonna happen. I think we have to die out like the children of Egypt. I think it's a disease that has infected our blood, and there is no cure. So you have to look at. I bet you, I will put my whole check on. She come from marriage.
No doubt.
Her parents are married. Grandparents married. Community married. Married. All the way down the line. We don't have that no more. It's hard to get 2 or 3 people that's married. My own family, mama divorced, grandmama divorced, aunties divorced, not married, not married, not married, not married. So, and because as y'all know, I got a complete do-over. It's just totally different seeing things at this stage, because it's about family. And what Coco said, but see, when when it's your culture to get married, they put things in place for their kids. So they don't have to do all this. I gotta go to school. I gotta graduate. I gotta do this. They have a culture and a community that pushes and supports marriage. So they both could be working at McDonald's at 19 and 20, and they're just, they'll make it work because they have a community that supports them.
Right.
So I, I don't think it's enough. Just like B-Box said, I just don't think it's enough. And then also, I'm looking at the church, and church is divorcing as much as people in the world. I'm like, what y'all just going to church for a social event now? Where's the salvation? Where's the living the word? So, nah, it's sorry.
Okay. Amen. Amen at that. Joe, what you say, man? Is it still possible, or is it a wrap?
Man, Vince made a point, but Chloe also made a good point. If you was to look on the surface, yeah, it's a wrap. But I found that in finding women like her, they appear much more often the closer to God that I go. So the more I work on myself internally, it's like my external world reflects my internal world. So I can look externally and say, okay, it's a wrap. But if I look at how my experiences have been in finding women like her, which used to be a rarity, has now become more common, which is weird to me. But then I correlate it to how is this possible? It's similar to how if you have your mindset on getting a particular color of vehicle, you start seeing that vehicle everywhere. Whereas before you didn't see it before. It's because your mind, your energy is all attuned to getting that vehicle. So now you're seeing things before it happens because you want that vehicle so bad, where it's always been there. So these women like her have always existed. It's just when it comes to, I guess, from a man's perspective, being that we are leaders, how do we actually find those women? It's not something you go out and necessarily find. It's something that we have to attract. It's something that just comes into your life. To go out and trying to find someone like that, he's not going to see her. He might look her right in the face and not see her. And so he becomes blind to her because he'll look to the girl on the right who's the OnlyFans model. He's just not going to be attracted to a woman like that. But it's the type of man that he becomes that he begins to see women like him around him. And so that's how he who finds a good thing. I just figured this out within a year. I was like, oh, that's how that works. I thought you had to go out there and look for that. No, it's something that comes to you. It's almost like it's something that comes from the heavens above. It's from God. It's a reflection of who you are as a man. And vice versa with a woman. She's going to attract that type of man who has that type of mindset about himself and that so they're going to come together and it's going to seem like, oh, they're everywhere to them. So, to those who haven't had that experience, who haven't been so fortunate, maybe they had a different outcome in terms of how they were raised. They came from a broken family. They're not going to see that perspective. They have to retrain their minds and their energy and get in tune with that. It's going to be a much more difficult climb for them to hike. But for someone like her, it's going to be like, oh, this is what I expect because this is what I've seen. This is what I know. This is what I'm going to get. So, I see it a lot more often. But if you was to ask me 5 years ago, I would tell you, nah, I don't see it because that would be true. That would also be true. I don't see it because it wasn't in me. So until it became normal within me to see it, I was like, oh, I'm the type of person the things I say I want in a woman is now the things that I am. But I try to get things that wasn't in me in another woman that I couldn't resonate with. And on a frequency level, vibrational level, you just can't do it. So so that's why I agree with both Vince and Chloe at the same time. Just depends on how you look at it. If you look at it externally, you're going to see it from Vince's perspective. If you look at it internally, you're going to see it from Chloe's perspective.
Okay. I appreciate that right there. JR, what you say, man? Is it too late or can we still get that? And then we'll wrap after that.
I want to say, obviously, for the people in my generation, I'll say no. But maybe for the younger ones coming up, maybe yes. But I think it all just depends on a woman's mindset. because somebody made a point earlier. I can't remember the point exactly, but yeah, if the women change their mindset, the men know exactly what to do, and I think it comes back to the point about the trust, right, and the whole submission thing, where she seems that type of lady that would submit, and she'd want a man that should, want to trust 100%. So I could see it happening, but like I say, it's in the mindset of the ladies, and then that would then allow them to be able to make better choices in the men, because now, as she stated there, ain't no waste man coming towards her right now if they see that video. Let's just keep it real. Does that make sense? Because most men are gonna keep it real, be like, hey, listen, you know what? I can't really, achieve what she wants, so I'm not even gonna bother, right? So most men not even gonna bother going that towards her, because they know that they're not gonna be able to give what she's actually asking for in this moment in time. But in terms of the actual timing between, both genders being young and whatnot, Miss Coker made the point. It is a hard one, because for the young lady, she has to wait, a bit longer if she's dating somebody that's her age and he hasn't really got the financial, situation in order to just speed up the process a little bit. We're not saying be there, but just speed it up in terms of, so she ain't got to wait 6 years or whatever it is, but maybe 3 years she can wait, but 6 years, 7 years, that's where maybe it's picking up a little bit of extra change. Money's a bit longer or whatever, but yeah, it's a hard one. But if the ladies change their mindsets, I guarantee you the men will, because then we just understand that we'll be in a better place.
Okay.
Like,
No, I appreciate that right there.
I want to add
And you
real
made
quick.
you made a good point, JR. I just want to point that out. I don't want that to get missed. The point that you made about certain dudes will encounter that young lady and they will avoid her because they know that they're not on point. Yeah, I want the ladies to absorb that point, because that's very important. If as a woman, when you are on point and you move a certain way, that will deter a lot of the nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong. You may have a couple, a couple little cocky ones in there. They might try to slide in knowing they're not going to get it, but they might try to slide in and see if they can get lucky. But overall, I have to agree with JR on this. Overall, most dudes will avoid that woman because they know she's going to be able to sniff them out real quick because of how she moving. So yeah, that's just a little nugget for the ladies. Yep, if you are actually on point, and I'm talking about genuinely on point, not the fugazi on point. I'm talking about the genuine on point. Yeah, like this young lady in the video. If you moving like that, talking like that, a lot of dudes not going to even look your way, and that's for a good reason. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so just keep that in mind right there.
Quick,
all right, I'm gonna take some.
More.
Go ahead, Joe. I'm gonna take some
Just
closing
one
and we
quick
out of here,
point.
man. Go ahead.
Just one example. It's the lady in my picture, the Brazilian lady in my picture. She bluntly told, but she put on Instagram. It's not something you normally see with women on Instagram. She put, "I'm celibate." She told me, and she showed me that when she put that on there, she had 20,000 followers. And then after she put just 2 words, "I'm celibate," she said it went down to 2,000 followers. Because of course, we're all men. So that goes to show you the state of mind. And then she was also on some sort of video call where she said, outward, this is what I'm celibate. I'm waiting for marriage. And then you had a lot of men saying, yeah, well, I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to bother with you. I'm not going to. And she just kind of smiled and said, yeah, exactly. Because very intelligent. This is not the kind of man that I want to deal with. I don't even want them around as friends. So she did that on purpose because she knew that most men are very lustful. So in saying that, she could have easily kept those 20,000 followers, because most women do, because there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of adoration, gifts and things. I don't want none of that, she said. She said, I want men around me who's going to be intentional. So I saw it firsthand, like not just her saying it, but just like, damn, this is crazy. So yeah, you're right. Men are going to avoid women like that woman in the video. Some of them were trying. Some will try and say, I think I can break her. And unfortunately, some of them do succeed. So when I come across women like that, I always encourage them to stay on that path, not to give in, and to make, if she says she wants marriage and she feel like she deserves it and she follows God, she should stick with that. Or she might end up like Halle Berry, where she was a good woman, Little Mermaid and everything, and now she got stuck in this situation. Almost completely derailed her career. You get with the wrong man. If a woman has a certain principle and she breaks that principle for one night, and then even worse, if you get pregnant by the man, you have that man's child, you are tethered to that man for life. So it comes with serious spiritual consequences. If you get with a man who is intent on breaking you, and if he succeeds, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get out of that situation. So it's in a woman's best interest to remain intentional, to remain celibate until she gets married, control her own lust, and she'll get everything she wants in this world and more.
I feel that. Okay, appreciate that right there. All right, man, I'm going to take some closing and we getting out of here. We'll go across the top and the bottom. We gone. Coco, what to say before we get out of here?
I would just like to start off by saying that, I feel vindicated.
Oh, come
I
on.
really feel, shout out to Joe. I feel vindicated tonight. I really do. And I'm really proud of you, Joe. Like I see the growth. And it's really, it looks good on you. And
that's true. That's Joe.
You're close to your breakthrough. Because I remember when we had this conversation about y'all saying that woman had to have with y'all in order for y'all to take her seriously and for y'all to, notice she really liked y'all. And now we're watching a video of a 19-year-old girl that says she's intentional and she wants to be married. And so she only dates guys that are also intentional. And so that means she's not sleeping with them guys. She's not sleeping with them. So it just goes to show you, I told y'all then, and I'm going to tell y'all now. And shout out to all of the people, because y'all came for me. Y'all came for me in the comments of that show. Y'all came. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a show about the show because y'all came for me in those comments. Men came for me in those comments, and I live for it, baby. I love it. I want all the smoke. We're going to react to that show because y'all came for me so bad. I told y'all they were out here. I told y'all they were out here. I literally told y'all that there were women that were out here that really want to be with men, but they are just being particular about the men that they choose to be with, and they are being particular about who gets the cookie. I literally told y'all. I told y'all this. And y'all was like, nah, she don't like, if she ain't doing it, she don't like you. If she don't do it, she ain't like you. You got me? She don't like you.
Come on.
She don't like you. And I'm just like, I told y'all. Now, Joe just gave y'all an example of a chick that just got online and just said I'm celibate. She just said she was celibate. And they unfollow her so fast. Y'all out here creating all these high body counts. And y'all need to get it together. I told y'all. Now, y'all can do that because y'all married, right? Like B. Bosker and Vince, and you know what I'm saying? Y'all married, right? So y'all can do that. But for these dudes that's not married, that do actually want to be married one day, y'all better stop telling them that they need to be out here looking for the woman that's going to sleep with them. Stop telling them that. They don't need to be looking for the woman that's going to easily sleep with them. That shouldn't be a marker. That should not be the marker. I'm not saying they should allow themselves to be taken advantage of. I'm not saying that. Not saying that. But they also shouldn't be looking for the chick that wants to sleep with them. That's the low-hanging fruit. They should not be looking for that.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's your closing. We gotta let you say what you want to say. All right. V-Boss is on you. Go ahead, man.
Man, Joe's turned into a Derek Jackson. What's going on?
Oh, come on.
Look.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the topic goes, yeah, I do believe men still want feminine women. It's just harder, man. Like, and just to push back on what Coco said, because she brought this up. We weren't talking. We aren't women like who we just saw in the last video are rare. They are not the norm. We do not run into women like that often.
Okay.
Right. So I would say she is like maybe if you have
don't
20 women in the
stats.
room, it's
don't
one of them.
Don't give no stats.
You know what I'm just saying. It's very rare.
That ain't on black people. That ain't on black people demographics. Don't give that stat.
I'm saying in general, that's not what you run into. I'm sorry, you just don't.
You don't know that.
And listen. Look, I'm just saying we don't. And on top of that, too, the point that we were making as far as the sleeping was just basically she has to have sex with you. Is that a lot of women will get with guys who they're not sexually attracted to, and then the relationship invariably ends horribly. That was kind of the context. So it's not that we necessarily, and I think Vince was kind of trying to say it. I think he was more like ruthless with it. But men don't want to be with women who don't like them, right? People want to be with somebody who, like, that's just, I think that's a natural thing. So I didn't see the comments, so I don't know what happened in the comments section. I'm not defending no men in the comments. But my opinion, I want to be with somebody who wants me to make their left leg shake. I don't know about other men. That's just me.
She wants you to do that. She just don't want you to do that right away.
Bruh. But she likes you. She probably will.
She said not right away, man. She said not right away. All right, let me come on over to Herschel. Herschel, man, what you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Okay. Yeah, I think men, myself, yeah, we still want feminine women. Problem is that the way that, again, going back to society, the way those things go, women, a lot of women are losing the femininity, based off of either by choice or just by how they were brought up or by just certain situations. They're forced into being, less feminine, but that kind of makes it a little more harder for the men, as far as like in the pool, to pick and choose, a good, decent wife. But, at the same time, I'm sure women still want masculine men too, and we both got to kind of try to stick to those values, stick to those ways. Cause I mean, that's part of our nature, and we have to go back to the definitions of those things and just can figure out, what that means, what it is, and just try to do it. And then still and teach that in our homes to our, to our children. And, because again, this could be the outcome. Like say you have a daughter, raising them up. If you don't teach her to be feminine, she'll grow up and, they'll be still calling your phone, because she's still single and not having nobody to support her and then to bring her in. And, and same with the men, you know what I'm saying? You don't teach a man to be masculine. He'll be out here like, doing that thing where the women, when the women want the man to be able to take charge and lead, he's not going to know how to do it. And it's not going to be fit. So, yeah, but we just got to continue to teach those ways, and lead by examples.
Right. No, that's real. Appreciate that closeout. Cole, you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You want to say anything before we get out of here?
In relation to the topic, men don't want feminine women. I think in some cases they don't, because they don't understand the full capacity that requires the woman to be feminine.
Oh, come on.
Relation to the topic. So.
You're gonna leave it like that? That's how you're gonna close that up?
Yep.
Just drop the nuke and just stop.
Right, she's just gonna leave it like that. Okay,
Yeah.
Cole.
We
I
also
appreciate it.
it's work that needs to be done. And I still say arrange me. I'm saying that out loud.
Mm, okay, we gonna leave that right there. I appreciate that closeout, Cole. Appreciate that closeout. JR, man, it's on you. What you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Yeah. Me personally, yeah, I'd say men don't want feminine women in this generation because, like I said, for the guys that can get women, there is a greater benefit to it. You know, you don't have to propose. You can get a baby before you propose. You know, she might stay with you for a while and then she might break up with you. So why give her the ring? Because she'll leave you anyway, right?
Oh,
So,
come on.
yeah, like I said, in terms of submission, men don't want women to submit in terms of having a quiet voice or one. We actually want you to be opinionated because having a voice, actually, you got to pay your way as a human being to have a voice in this life. So pay your way because that's life. Men have to learn how to cook and clean because that's survival skills. So as an adult, go to work and pay your bills as well. It's easy. But like I said, if they change their mindset, hey, we go back to what it is, innit? You try and provide as best as you can and see where it goes. That's it. Ain't nobody trying to be toxic out here. Ain't nobody trying to control each other out here. What we're saying is, let's just go back to the drawing board. Let's work together and figure this shit out.
Man, oh man.
Wow.
Some interesting stuff going on tonight. I appreciate that closeout, JR. Appreciate that closeout. All right, Joe, you got the last spot, man. What you say, man?
So to Chloe's point, I actually was silent when he was speaking about the topic about sex and needing sex and all of this stuff. I would just kind of listen to both sides. I never actually gave an opinion one way or the other. I just listened. So I already had my mind made up about it. So this process has been taking place months before then. So it wasn't like a sudden 2-3 weeks ago now. But so actually to Herschel's point, when he talked about man having to be man and be leaders, the very first thing that I wish my father had taught me was sexual discipline. Because lust has a funny way of ruining everything in a man's life. Unwanted pregnancies, child support, money that he could have been using to build a business to achieve something great, but he settled with debt and women that he doesn't really want and drama, which saps all of his energy. He goes out and spread his seed even more, which takes more energy. Now he's a shadow of the man he could have been had he practiced his sexual discipline at a younger age, around puberty when we first feel it. But we get into a lot of debauchery at first. And then we try to come out on the tail end and try to learn from our mistakes. Some of us can, most of us don't make it because we weren't taught by our own fathers how to deal with that. We're told to go out there and just have fun, have a good time, to party. And that comes with a lot of consequences. So the first thing a man has to do is take charge of his own dick. And if he can't do that, what can he take charge of? So when y'all was having that conversation some 3 weeks ago, I was listening. It was so heated. I was just like, okay, yeah, no, I understand what the men are saying. I do because just a year and a half ago, I was feeling that way still. So I was like, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. But having a different mindset is what led me to Brazil. Having a different mindset, God would not have never allowed me to even get close to that woman in the picture if I was the way I was a year and a half ago. Impossible. I haven't met anyone like her until I changed who I was several months ago. And it was a very hard process getting rid of lust. So we can't control our own dick. How can we expect to control, not control, but lead a family? We can't lead ourselves. It's the number one principle thing, right? But if our own fathers are unlustful, and in some cases we are the product of that lust that our father had, how can they teach us something that we don't know? So that's the number one thing we must do.
That's real.
Secondly, and lastly, men don't want feminine women. I, I, I would say that's true, depending on what stage that man is at in his own life. And and lastly, I will be the official, the unofficial Derek Jackson impersonator. But I don't want to be called Derek Jackson. You can call me Joe Jackson.
Oh,
Not to
come
be
on.
confused, not to be confused with Michael Jackson's father. Not like that. Not like that. That man was insane. But I'll be Derek Jackson's son for the night. I'll end on that note.
We're gonna leave that right there. Appreciate that closeout, man. Well, let me say this real quick and we go. The men I know, the men I see, they definitely want a feminine woman. Yeah, and I don't think that's ever going to change. At the end of the day, the reason why men want feminine women because it is a balance. This is one thing that we don't talk about a lot, the balance that takes place naturally between men and women. Yeah, but this is why we can't get a lot of these relationships together because we don't understand balance. Yeah, we don't understand positions. We don't understand responsibility. We don't understand honor. Yeah, so until we understand that there's literally a balance and a complementary piece that takes place between men and women, then yeah, it's gonna be hard for us to even get off the ground. I'm gonna leave it just simple as that. Man, shout out to my panel. Shout out to Coco, Beatboxer, Herschel, Joe, JR, Tay was on earlier, Cole was on, Vince was on as well. Appreciate y'all holding me down on the panel. Shout out to everybody down in the comments as well. Appreciate you guys as always. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Smash that like button. Likes are free. Also hit that subscribe for all my YouTube folks out there. Man, this is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night. We go live at 8:30 Eastern Standard on YouTube and Facebook every Wednesday night. So like, share, subscribe, spread the word. And next time you come, do me a favor, bring a friend with you. So we want to get this content out to as many of our people as possible so they can join in on these great conversations. But man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. We're going to catch y'all next Wednesday.